Hey y'all, it's Hope at Crafty Hope, and welcome to this junk journal page. I am working in this junk journal I made from the Robin Marie Smith Transitions Journal Workshop. I think that's what it's called. I'll have a link to her workshops below. It was a free workshop she had last year sometime, I think, and I made this fun little journal and I love it. So I'll let you see if you can make one too. All right, so I am starting this one with some washi tape. I think I was bothered a little bit. I love the airmail envelope that's over there on the right, but I knew I didn't want to go with a red and blue design because I actually started this one inspired by one of my ICADs. I really enjoyed the color palette that I had going on I think it's ICAD number 49. And so I really wanted to kind of work with that, and I knew that that red and blue primary colors wouldn't go quite so well with what I wanted to do. So I'm trying to cover up that red and blue, but these are the pages I wanted to work on anyway, so I'm going for it and covering them up. So once I got some washi tape down to cover a few of those things up, and you saw I kind of stuck with kind of uh, neutral colors, I guess, for those, I'm going to come in with some collage using my Ooh glue stick. I've got a little bit of that's some old, I don't even know. I think it's in from that stash. It's a stash I got years ago. That's a bunch of different papers and whatnot from a family that had a construction business. This little recipe card, I only had a portion of it because I had apparently punched it out when I did my little art charms. But it was a recipe for hush puppies. And I'm going to bring in a Tim Holtz paper doll in here in a little while, and it's got a dog in it. And so it tickles me to no end that I have a hush puppy recipe on a spread with a dog. Y'all just, yeah, things like that just tickle me. So, yeah. So I'm getting these down. I know I've got that envelope there. I totally could take advantage of that being an envelope to have some little pull out thing, but I don't. I really just kind of wanted to play, and that felt like a little more thought than I wanted to put into this page on this day. So I'm more than anything, the thought I'm putting into this is covering up those airmail marks on that back side. Now I am leaving some of the paper exposed here because I've got that handwriting that was on the back of the envelope and the music paper that's on the left side, and I really like all of that. So I'm keeping some of that in there, kind of showing. I think this is one of those things that was in that ICAD number 49 was this polka dotted gold, well, it's gold polka dots tissue paper that I don't know where I got it, Dollar General maybe. But it was on that card, and so I decided to pull that in to this page as well. And I'm not going to do anything fancy. I could pull out my fluid matte gel medium to get that down and make sure it's a little more transparent. But I really was just, again, didn't want to overthink anything. So I'm just using that Oohoo glue stick. And I think, yeah, there was something inside that envelope that was kind of bothering me. So I'm going to glue this little slip inside. I think maybe it has a pink tone in there or something. I can't tell. I just didn't want to see it. So, yeah, covering it up. Y'all, I don't know what it was. I mean, because that envelope is such a great accent to have that little pocket going on there. But no, I don't want it. So that is a little yogurt container with some dried up instant coffee in it, and I am reactivating it with a little bit of water and using a paintbrush. Apparently I didn't have enough water. And I am going to just kind of paint my page with this. I have found that this coffee does a excellent job of accenting some of the texture that goes on the page. Other inks, for some reason, don't quite do it for me the way that this coffee does. And I really like on here the different papers that I used all got activated a little bit differently by that coffee. So you see there on that left side there, there's a piece that like got really dark while other things didn't soak it in quite as much. So I dried a little and then I picked up a little bit of the excess and then I'm going to dry it again. And yeah, I'm going to add a little more coffee in some places where it just felt like it needed it. And you see, I don't know if you saw, I splattered the coffee a little bit too because I really like that. It gives the movement across the page, lets the eye move across it. All right, that is Sea Glass craft paint from Americana, Deco Art Media Americana. I love this color, and again, it was the color I guess I used on that ICAD that I like so much, and so that's what I'm using. And I am really, I don't even know, y'all. I'm putting this paint down, but not really like painting it, just getting some color on there. Um, really kind of randomly, but I made sure it went from one side of the page to the other. And I'm probably, am I going to dry this? Oh no, I don't think I am. I'm going to come in with a couple sprays maybe. Nope. I dry it. And then I've got my chunky pencil here and I'm going to add some scribbles. Y'all, when I looked at this page later, these scribbles added so much to me. And so I'm really glad that I did that. And this chunky pencil is great that it'll blend out a little bit so that it's not so stark perfect lines. Yeah, that's my jam. At this grunginess, I can like blend in that. So I've got those marks on there, and I guess I'm gonna look at it for a minute and grab my no, am I gonna use my yes? Oh, okay. So y'all, I did this. I wet my Stabilo and then made these like swirly marks on it. And I really liked them. So I may, I can't remember if I did it again later. I've been wanting to, anyway, I really like these. They look a lot like flowers to me. So in a bit, I'm gonna give them stems, and that's one part of this I don't really dig, but it doesn't make a difference in the end. It's just some texture on this page. And even though I wet the Stabilo, when I drew onto the page, I'm going to go ahead and wet those marks I've got on there to let them have a little extra drippy grunginess that I love, where they all bleed together. And oh, I love that. So here's my sprays. I'm using the Nuvo Mica Mist, as well as this is a Lindy Stamp Gang spray in Shabby Turbine Teal. So I'm putting both of those down on the page just for a little touch of something. I really like that splatter of the teal on there. Works beautifully, and of course you can't go wrong with a little splatter of gold on a page. And again, I dried a little, picked up the excess, and I'm gonna look at it. All right, so I have done all this, and this is where I grab a white china marker and I decide to make stems for those flower looking shapes. Again, this is not my favorite part of this page. It's probably my least favorite part of it, but it's not a huge deal. I don't go much further than putting these stems on here, and I do like really long marks. Oh, and I used my white woody Stabilo woody too to make that. And I started to make some white marks as well to kind of carry that, and I decided I didn't like that, so I just left that alone. I pulled out my Tim Holtz paper dolls and started going through them, and here I found that little girl with her dog, and yeah, they were kind of perfect on here, and I don't know why, just they spoke to me. So I'm going to use a palette knife and my matte gel medium and stick them down. I didn't waste any time with this. I did cut out a little bit of futzing through the paper dolls because, yeah, y'all seeing me flip through those doesn't add anything to this page. So I've got her stuck down, and see there I start trying to add some leaves to it. And again, it doesn't really, I mean, it's neat, but it's not like the focal of the page. This girl ends up being the focal of the page. So I'm going to go around these paper dolls with my Stabilo, and then I'll of course activate it with my wet paint brush. That just gives them a little bit of shadow, makes them stand up off the page a little bit more so that they are the actual focals of this page. And once I get that done, I'm going to grab my Stabilo again and add a couple of really, yeah, the marks I make with the Stabilo are going to be these minuscule, tiny little marks. And that means that when I activate, oh, first, I guess I'm going to pick out my phrase, which is um, love with all your heart. And so I decided to put that kind of in the middle of the flowers there. They seem to stand up. And then I'll use my Stabilo to put a shadow just underneath that. And then while the Stabilo is in my hand, I add these tiny little marks and I use the water to kind of drag out those marks so there's it's not as dark as it could be and they're almost shadows on their own. So see these tiny little light marks that I'm putting over there. And when I activate them, they get kind of dark, but they're not like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I love these marks. Absolutely love these marks on this page. So I do it again, also on the left side. And I think once I get these done, this page is going to be done, y'all. I love it so much. I'm so glad that I kind of rolled with loving the inspiration from that ICAD, and that kind of reminds me to kind of look through some of my past things and find inspiration there. So I'm gonna try to do that some more and see what colors worked for me. And that's kind of, I don't know, kind of almost what ICAD's about, is working on that small scale so that it can inspire bigger pieces. Okay, I am going to go now. I hope you have enjoyed this. Make sure you comment if you have any questions, or let me know if there was something I need to explain further. And I really appreciate you watching, y'all. Thanks. Bye.